Yeah, so Compound token is very, very interesting. So for those who don't know, Compound is a governance token issued by the platform Compound.finance. And they launched the governance token. It's now fully decentralized as of this week. And it's gone from zero to a Coinbase Pro listing and to also a top 20 market cap coin. To go from having no token to issuing the token and blowing up really pretty much in 1 week, it's pretty impressive. Now, for those who are our customers, be sure to follow the newsletter. We'll be putting out our in-depth report on Compound in terms of the fundamental analysis and also the technology analysis and review. But for today's show, we'll have Bill kind of going through and giving us his take from a TA perspective. Go ahead, Bill.
Okay, so let's talk Compound. Now, sometimes when I do my best work, I give traders scenarios, okay? So for Compound, scenario one is that there's going to be kind of a flash crash to 280, okay? It's going to unwind part of the move from 160 to 360. And I can't draw on this chart, but there's support at 280. Okay, so that's scenario one. And I think that makes sense because it's paid to buy the dips in these fast-moving altcoins. Okay? Now, scenario two is that it just blows up and goes to 1,000.
That's crypto for you.
Right, that's crypto. I think with how much this is run up, and I think it's scarier for people to buy dips because it's run up. I think that's why you should try to buy a dip if this thing comes to 280.
Okay, very interesting, very interesting.
All right. Now, let's talk about the June curse in Bitcoin. Okay. So let's talk about what's easy to say, particularly for, if you're cynical about crypto or if you're worried. So we're going to go through it here, but basically you'd say, well, Bitcoin always blows up in June, compounds the bubble, sell everything, it's going to 6,000. Okay. I'm not going to take that attitude, but I do want to show you the June curse in Bitcoin. Okay. So this right here is June of 2014. Okay. Bitcoin goes from like 700 to 200. Very unpleasant. Over here in 2016, Bitcoin goes from 800 to 600. Okay. Even in 2017, okay, Bitcoin went from 3,000 to like 1,800. Okay. So even in the bull years, all right, it's gotten wrecked in June. Okay. And if you can bear with me adjusting the screen here, all right, we see over here in June of 2018, Bitcoin was at 8,000 and eventually wound up at 3. And it definitely dropped from 8 to 6. Okay. And the top last year at 13K was also June. And then, of course, here we sit and sit and sit and sit. Okay. Now, I'm hoping the June curse in Bitcoin is that it just doesn't move at all. So, I could just tell you to sell everything. I think if you need to hedge your Bitcoin, you want to own it, you buy silver because that looks like it's going to go up a lot. And you just throw that in there because I've got some good charts on silver. I'm not going to go through them today, but if you're looking to protect Bitcoin, maybe you own silver. I'm thinking the Bitcoin curse is that it just doesn't go anywhere. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're going to Ethereum now on a daily chart. Okay. Something has got to change here, right? Or maybe not. I keep saying, well, alts can't go up unless Ethereum goes up. Well, wait a minute. This compound, whatever it is, right? I don't care what it does. It's providing market leadership, right? I don't care if market leadership comes from the alt space, but clearly it's providing leadership. So I'd like to see Ethereum do something, but you know what? I'm caring less and less if it does. Okay, so what I want to do now is transition into altcoins and take a look at, what happens when you buy the dip. Okay, how have you done and how will you do in the future? Okay, so let's go to, the mad money move today, which is Aave. Okay, now as you can see with this chart, okay, we've been following this for our premium subscribers for a while and on the show. Right in here, there was a dip, okay? The break above this black line was important. Then there was a dip, and then it took off, okay? The same was true over here, okay? So altcoins are not acting like altcoins. They look like stocks. They have these big up moves, these orderly corrections, and then the move resumes. And you can even see up here in Aave, people going at the head and shoulders target, right? So I know I'm getting crazy, but you know, Lend actually went way beyond its head and shoulders target and may head to 2,200. Okay. But you can see, you know, that buying dips here paid off. And you can also see that the rally went farther than people expected. Okay. So yeah, you got to take some risk, but you know, Aave is telling you that there may be more out there. Okay. Okay. All right. Now I'm switching back and forth. So just give me a second. Okay. So here's Wren. This is a big internal favorite.
Yeah.
Okay.
Also a DeFi project as well.
Also a DeFi project. Okay. So the gray bar is resistance. Okay. So Wren hits the resistance. Okay. But Wren doesn't seem to fall apart. Okay. It's not one of these things like with altcoins where it goes up there and then it spikes back down and just goes to zero. It's not like that. So I think the fact that Wren is actually holding together, even if it dips a little more, it's worth it to come in and try to buy the dip, say near 1,200. Okay. Because there's been other people down there. Okay. Here's Khyber. Okay. I think this is another potentially huge up move. This could be the next Aave, and here's why. What we see here in Khyber is something called the head and shoulders. With a head and shoulders, it's 3 attempts by bears to push a market down. Okay. And that's right over here by this S that's moving around. So after the 3rd attempt fails, the bulls take charge, right? And the upside target, okay, the harder the bears tried to press it down, the more it can go up. That's how I'd explain it plainly. Okay, so now we have Khyber that has managed to break above this black line. Very interesting, right? And it's moving back and forth, but we think it's worth it to buy a dip here because the amount of upside that this has is big. And it leads me to believe that in alts, we may be looking at something where alts move higher kind of one at a time, right? Like first it's Compound, then it's Aave, and then Kyber may be next, right? And a lot of people in altcoins have been used to, oh, you know, it kind of goes up and then it's over. It just goes back down. Well, that's not what's happening. Okay. So one of the other ones that we were looking at, oh no, Zilliqa was the one. Okay. So here's Zilliqa, right? Now, Zilliqa goes down and the dotted lines are support points, right? The dotted lines are areas where you might say, okay, I'll try to buy. And what you know that Zilliqa flushes lower, okay? And today they're having a pretty decent green candle. It bottomed out yesterday, okay? And right here, where my cursor is, I don't know, it's decent, right? So people are trying to buy the dip in Zilliqa, and I'm like, well, why not? You know, if it holds where it's at and doesn't turn around and go back down, it could take out 300 and make a new high. Or who knows, start acting like any of these other coins. You know, it's crypto. Put a little money in, use a stop, and try it. All right. One of the other things that I was looking at is this is called Swissborg. Now, here's the good news about being a technical analyst. I don't need to know a lot about the project. Matter of fact, sometimes the less I know, the better. Okay, just look at the chart. Okay, so this was from one of our most savvy customers. Okay, we have this like premium discussion room, right, where you know, I impart knowledge to people and they return the favor. That's why it's cool. All right. So this person brought this coin to my attention. And I was like, well, don't FOMO in, because it was like 3 or 4 days ago. Wait for the dip. And lo and behold, it's dipped. It dipped to one of the dotted lines. And guess what, folks? It keeps bouncing back. So there's dip buyers down here in this. Okay. Now, I also looked at Matic. Okay. Now, Matic, I think we featured this either on the show or in the newsletter, but Matic has one of these head and shoulders bottoms. And everybody gave up last week on the negative Indian news except us because we like it. It's always in our top 20 on tokenmetrics.com. And lo and behold, Maker popped up, right? This could be a sleeper. It's not, I don't think it's DeFi, but I think it is an altcoin that people maybe gave up on. And
Absolutely.
Right. And we've seen this throughout the DeFi space where people actually did give up and then the stuff just exploded. Okay. So we don't think it's just DeFi where this is taking place. I mean, yeah, it's easy to look at Compound, say it's a DeFi bubble, sell everything, go home, really short live stream, right? But I think that it's worth it to try coins like this. And perhaps my favorite, why not, is Cosmos. Okay, so I can see Cosmos sitting on one of my colorful lines, like literally sitting on it after it just pushed everybody out. I mean,
wow.
The give up trade in Compound is epic. I mean, these red candles. I mean, this thing's going down every day like it's been pushed out of a truck, right? Listen, if these are projects that are good and everyone is selling Compound to buy this, everybody's selling all these other coins to get involved in Compound. Yes, Compound may be a good buy on a dip, but all these other projects that have just gotten kind of abandoned, that are still super high quality, they have major upside. So assuming we're not looking at a Bitcoin crypto June calamity, I think there's trades out there that people can do, right? So I don't want to be long-winded, but the bottom line is this. Bitcoin, you have to keep an eye on. If it doesn't move, and that's the curse of June, then the action is in alts, right? And buying a dip, all right, is proving to be an okay strategy. So if you missed it, I don't think you have to just quit or FOMO into a 20% up move because you're getting the dips to get in. So that's it.
Well said, Bill. Well said. And if anybody has any comments or questions, please post them down below.